So, I've never run a D&D game like this before. This is a 4-way party split because everybody's going in their own direction. For now, anyway. So the 2 mortals that are left.
Hello!
Hello.
Now join us for this round. Oh boy.
This round of what the fuck is happening?
At least Guy has control over the immortals over there. He
Yeah.
can send them from the room.
The one point is, at some point, bet you I won't be sitting here. Between the 4 of you. I'm out. You've got guns. You got your thing. Off you go. Ultimate D&D. No DM required.
Oh my
dear.
goodness. This is
Okay.
madness. I love it.
So, you are going to now communicate with one of the 2 proconsuls of the Drow.
Yes.
What the?
And you are using the Royal Sending Stone
We are.
to communicate with them. And I'm just finding the name of the current incumbent. Here we go. Tablocitos. Or Tablokitos, actually.
Tableau Ketos.
Ketios. Tabloketios. Sorry, can't read my own handwriting. Proconsul Tabloketios. You hold the stone, and the 2 of you are projected, and after a moment the stone is answered. You can see the proconsul leaning quite heavily against a table. Looks as if he is quite badly wounded.
Proconsul, are you quite all right?
You?
We are calling on behalf of King Alexander.
Where the hell have you just come from?
We have come from the past, as it were. We have been detained for 3.5 years.
Yes, I'm well aware. You disappeared from the stage of operations. Why are you contacting me now, of all times? We're a little busy.
What are you busy with before we begin?
Internal affairs.
Internal affairs.
Now, why are you contacting me?
We need your aid urgently.
That won't be happening.
We are aware that you have a mechanism that is capable of trapping a god.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We need to trap a god.
Give me a persuasion check.
Come on! That would be a 27.
Oh, beautiful. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say no. When suddenly, obviously, this wound in his side causes him to wince. You've been spying on us for 3.5 years. Very cunning, very cunning. I should have anticipated it. You should know that we have had a breakout of our previous incumbent.
I see. So you need a replacement.
No, we need to contain the one that escaped.
Right. Where has it escaped to?
We don't know.
Great. Lovely. Another thing for the list.
As of this moment, the Drow Republic will have to officially withdraw any support it has for the war until we have reclaimed what has escaped.
That poses yet another challenge.
Of course it does. I do apologize, but currently we have an old god trying to reclaim its power.
But has he been drained? Is he weakened?
Yes, of course.
Well then, we have the ear of some of the gods. We can get celestial support with your problem. And in return, we would ask, and this is for your benefit, that you help us detain a new god, whose power will be yours to use.
I think you've misunderstood the exact operation of our device.
We are a little ill-informed, we will admit.
How familiar are you with the destruction of the dragon gods?
We know it happened.
Yes, that's what most people know. The gods were defeated by some heroes a long time ago. Not all of them were killed, however. One of them, the way I understand it, relinquished its divine power and fled to the Republic. The chamber that we have designed is a chamber that shields whatever or whomever is within it from all observation. The only way to know what's in that chamber is to look inside it. And of course we have done our very best for 25 centuries to keep anyone from seeing inside that chamber. Even I was only appraised of what was actually within that chamber yesterday when it escaped. Unfortunately, it can only remain in that chamber if it chooses to. We have no power to trap gods. We were hiding it from the current gods. In exchange, it was giving us power.
So we would have to persuade a god into your chamber to freely relinquish its power.
No, the chamber doesn't hold anything. There aren't even any shackles inside of it. It is a voluntary space.
That is. And how are you then siphoning its power?
It was granting us its power.
And so why did it choose now of all times?
We have no idea. Apparently one of the gods yesterday seemed to be involved in telling it something was going to happen. And so it has fled, believing it is no longer safe within our custodial position.
Right. So, you have no way of trapping gods. There is now an old god on the loose because he believes himself not to be safe.
Correct.
Right. So we don't have a way to trap a god.
No.
No. So that plan is
To the winds.
very
But-
much.
You have a way of luring the gods down here.
We do. We have an idea to lure them down and have them...
But why there now if that's no longer a seat of power that would... Perhaps we will call you back.
Well, they are a very clever ally, perhaps.
You said you needed to lure them here to trap them in our trap. You believe it to be a trap for gods.
We did.
So you were going to trap a god in our trap.
Yes, but your trap is not a trap. It is a voluntary confinement, a voluntary isolation chamber. It doesn't...
But that means you have a means to communicate with the gods directly.
Yes, but then that changes the stage of where this happens, really.
Right, what do you plan on doing against a god if you can't trap it?
Killing it.
How?
That's the question.
We have means, but...
You have the means to kill a god.
We do not have our hands on the means.
We know of how to get the means to kill a god, and that might help you with your problem so that you can return your attentions to us, but we need to recalculate our plan with this knowledge.
Are you aware of the current shift in the Sajeti Empire? A new Pharos has been crowned.
We are currently speaking with the new Pharos.
He is a very interesting individual.
Very ambitious.
Do you know that he was trained by the Drow?
No?
400 years ago, he came and studied with our Jadhai, our secret service. It was an exchange of cultures and also allowed us to see into the minds of our allies. If there's anyone who knows how to kill a god, it's him.
He's very interested in the weapon that we've spoken of.
I'm sure he is. He wouldn't have known about it. As I said, we have kept it secret for a very long time. You can lure the gods here. That is interesting. How does it help us against the war with the shadow?
The particular god that we wish to trap is the one with the weapon. If we can use that weapon against Shidoth, we can end the war with the shadow.
We were hoping to get Shidoth and this new god in a room together so they could extinguish each other. more or less.
I am no god, but if I heard that the mortals were constructing a god prison, I'd be pretty interested in checking that out.
So we only need the gods we only need Gottfried to believe that the prison is something that works. And if he is trying to kill gods, perhaps he would wish to kill this old god that is currently in a weakened state and escaped. Well, not escaped. Left of its own volition.
How are we going to communicate this to Gottfried?
I don't think you need to.
We just need to do it.
We need to start. Rumor will travel, especially some well-paid rumors in certain areas. We begin to build this thing somewhere strategically valuable to Shaidoth and to the Alliance.
The heart of the Dwarven lands, or the heart of the Sageti? Or
the
even...
Sageti is too difficult a target for the Shadow to target just
They've
yet.
already attacked the Dwarven lands.
The Dwarven territories does make the most sense.
Yes.
Assuming the Dwarves are willing to go along with this plan.
We will speak with them next. And you're saying to construct, or even just the rumors that we are constructing a
Correct.
new...
We assemble various magical items which may on the surface appear to have some kind of influence. I have no idea what this would be. This will take some time for us to research. In the meantime, we need to think about what to do with the actual shadow invasion itself. The gods might worry about their own problems for now.
Well, where the gods lead, the mortals follow. And so, as we stage this prison in the Dwarven lands, we can hope that the Shadow will also hear of these rumors, and they will send their delegations, their mortal delegations, there, and there we shall meet them. No?
Of course. However, you have not spent much time amongst the Drow, clearly. The Drow do not believe in hope. Hope is something that you surfaces, no offense, like to lie to one another about. We have hope for the future. You have nothing for the future. You have a desperate attempt to try and think that you have some kind of control over it. The Drow have no such illusions. We have control over now, not the future. Therefore, hope is irrelevant. Your actions are what counts. What you do now will determine the future, not having hope in the future doing something for you. Anyway, that is a cultural difference which we need not busy ourselves with.
It's a cultural difference that gives some guidance.
Well, we will begin the process of this entire thing. Whilst we are searching for our missing god, the Empire of the Sageti will have to bear the brunt of the war against the Shadow. There is nothing we can do about that. Our forces simply cannot maneuver around the Republic without our divine ally. And I cannot divulge even to our closest allies why.
The Sageti, the Vizier, or Anu Pharos, is keen to lend the Sageti to the war effort.
The question I have is, once we have lured the gods there and stolen this device that kills them, what do we do once they're dead?
That we are unsure of. We are aware that the world works on a cycle. Perhaps a new cycle will begin. Perhaps it will
godless
continue.
cycle? The Great certainly would like that.
They would. And what of you, the drow with no hope?
We don't have hope. We have action. That doesn't mean we don't have gods. The gods are particularly useful at controlling populations. They always have been. Their own influence is negligible. The influence of the church is significant. What happens when a god dies?
Their power goes to the next iteration. It is a cycle.
Who determines the iteration?
It would seem that those who slay the gods become the gods.
Interesting. Who do you propose to slay these gods?
Well,
Oh, I
they
see.
are not all necessarily going to be slain.
But
Some
once
will
we
keep
have
their
the
places.
tool with which to slay them,
We do not know if any more god blood need be shed. We are still...
whom are you proposing will slay Shidoth?
Alexander, King of Brunei.
The human? He's barely 17. He's been trained by the barbari, for heaven's sakes. What would he know on being a god?
He may not wish to take up being a god. You say that your god, that you had protected for many, many, many years, had given up their godhood. Is that not right?
I understand that it was a way of surviving.
Perhaps it is a way that others can survive.
I assume that the Sajeti know this information.
They do. To a degree. They do not know of what you have in the...
No. It is the Republic's greatest secret.
But they are aware that we wanted everyone to convene in your area to help us destroy a god. They do not know the nature of what is there.
We will assist you in this endeavour on the proviso that A, the Sajeti never learn of what it is exactly that powers the Republic, and if there is to be any god slaying and ascension to godhood, I have several operatives who are particularly efficient assassins. They would wield whatever this thing is that you have most delicately. And if they were to become gods themselves, well, that's all the better.
Everyone wants to become a god these days.
I do not wish to become a god.
Me neither.
What if one of your operatives were to slay the dragon? Would they confine themselves and remain
I do
loyal?
not see why we would want to slay the dragon.
Well, the dragon is under threat at the moment. Has fled.
We do not know from whom. We assume it must be the gods. Who else would possibly threaten it?
Mm-hmm.
How would you summon this? It is fled now, but are there any practices that summon the dragon?
No, none.
No?
It came to us with the plan.
And so it is fled and you have no way of calling it or knowing its location?
We know its location because it is just destroying everything in its path.
Where is that?
Currently, it's heading north.
Where precisely is it at the moment?
He looks down, obviously, at his desk. Currently, it seems to be heading towards the Kabalia.
Mm-hmm. So we could certainly...
We just need to get our ambassadors to it in time and convince it to return.
Right.
If I could have your assurance that the gods will not pose it any threat or danger, that would be significantly useful.
That is what I would propose, but we need to make sure it is protected, and that is why I need to know where it is.
It's most protected in that chamber.
Of course. But if another god came to it and told it what happened, then obviously it still has some kind of contact with the wider world.
As I said, there is one guard who guards a faceless door. Somehow he learned what was on the other side of that door. The dragon. And shared information with it.
Ah, I see. Perhaps you need this guard to be interviewed.
The guard is no longer in existence,
Well, that's for
and he was thoroughly interviewed.
Mm.
He claims he knows nothing about it.
Okay,
Right.
much to do. Is there anything else you would ask?
No,
No, there's a lot to be thinking of. And
If
planning.
Indeed.
you're ambassadors to catch up with this dragon god, I can assure you that it is far less safe out in the world than it is in your chamber.
I won't divulge the nature of what it is you have, your weapon, your prison, for lack of a better word. But as you said, secrets like this that are targeted to spread as rumour. Perhaps if I were to tell the vizier, the Pharos, I should say, that we are constructing a something to trap the gods, to focus his armies on marching into the dwarven clans, then that would start your rumour spreading like wildfire. Do I have your permission to share a little of this information with him?
to share the information that we have technology that can trap the gods, yes. And that's it.
And that is what I will say. That is what he will be interested in. He will latch onto that like a leech.
So the plan is that we are spreading rumours that the Drow are building a machine to trap the gods in the Dwarven
Alliance
lands.
is building.
The Alliance is building a machine to trap the gods in the Dwarven lands. This is something that will be tempting to the gods. Well, one god in particular, and tempting to the Shadow. Because surely Shaidoth only wants power.
Okay.
This will not be easy, and it won't be quick.
How long do you think it will take to spread this rumour?
Six months to a year, maybe more.
That is not time that we have.
If I were to tell you that all the gods will be wiped off the stage within 6 days, and that
Then
is
I
our
will
time.
tell you that all of this is a waste of time. 6 days isn't even enough time to load troops onto a ship,
No,
let alone to build any kind of prison.
you are quite right.
Yes.
But there's godly concerns and
Are
there's
you
our
sure
mortal
6
concerns.
days is all that you have?
6
Well-
days is all that we have to be able to get hold of the weapon.
It
Then
seems
the
an
weapon is
impossible
gone.
task.
You're telling me.
Perhaps your dragon would be a better target to summon the gods at least. That is something that would bring them straight away.
We cannot risk our dragon.
No, I agree.
But it seems to be the only bait we may have. We can do all we can to protect the dragon.
We cannot amass our troops or suspect or to ask the enemy to amass anywhere within the time frame that we've asked. It is impossible.
We need to...
The gods do not anticipate our mortal timelines.
Of course not. We cannot be mobilized. The armies need to continue fighting against the Shadow as we have been trying to do so. We are not going to be able to rally lots of troops for this particular plan. It needs to be select people who can travel quickly in a short amount of time.
Perhaps then the plan to have everyone, or at least the key players, the gods who can just materialize as they please, to fight it out in your echo chamber, or whatever you call it, your prison as it stands currently, will be enough.
But it has no control over the gods. It is not a prison. It is a voluntary place.
And the mere fact that its knowledge is known at the moment is the only benefit I can see.
We still say it's a trap.
Yes. We still say it's a trap. We don't have time to build a new trap. They know that. If they think there's already a trap ready to be armed and sprung immediately, that works. That's the only thing we can have in time. It is the illusion of a trap.
So we assemble our greatest warriors around the chamber and hope that the gods arrive.
And they should. If our god has anything to do with it. If Halvoth can get them to amass there, and we spread enough rumours that they will all meet there in this chamber. That is the only plan I can see.
It's a meeting of the gods.
And then we will worry about the shadow, it will seem. But that will be our concern once the gods have dealt with each other.
Well, then we will have the weapon.
Will we?
All right. And so you begin to enact your plan. Warriors are drawn from the Dwarvish territories, from the Sageti, from everywhere. The Kabalia, for a pretty hefty sum, will send you their best assassin, who doesn't take a contract for less than 500,000 gold pieces. They're that good.
Wow.
Everybody gathers on the Senate floor.
The best of the best.
And you wait.
And I would try and talk Gottfried down one last time before things kick off.
And I would say hello to my child.
You spend a few days with your child whilst all of this is being organised. Lovely, gurgly, happy little child it is.
Very nice.
The High Priestess has been looking after her, keeping her safe, and starting to train her in the arts of magic as best she can. It hasn't been easy, of course.
She's very young.
3 years old.
Yes, it's a very early age to start with magic. Be gentle with her. And I think Gemini, amidst all this war, all this planning, will just take any moment she can, free time, to just feel normal and spend this time with her child and hope. As much as she kind of agrees with the drow and not believing in that much hope, but she still is holding on to... Simia, the child, gives her hope that we can make this world a safe place for her.
Mercifully, or perhaps cruelly, there are moments where just for a few hours it does feel as if the world is normal and you're just playing with your happy little child, oblivious to everything that's going on around her.
Yeah.
But just for a few hours. And then you're summoned to a war council by Alexander, who is trying to chair this committee of murderers and assassins. And then you are pulled aside as Everardus is trying to make his final plea. Roll a percentile for me as you try and reach out to Godfried, please. And if the dice truly hate me, you will roll less than 5%.
No, 88.
Thank goodness. It would have complicated matters. You have reached out to the great Godfried or Gashul or whatever the hell he calls himself these days. And nothing.
No.
Day 6 rolls around. And nothing. Day 7 arrives. Day 8. Day 9. By day 10, you are summoned to the proconsul's office, where they both stand and glare at you. Where are your gods?
We have been asking the same thing.
We were told by our god, Halvoth, that this was to be the epic battle of the gods. We were disappointed by them.
Disappointed.
That is the lightest way I can put it. I cannot find words to express the depths of our disappointment.
Now what do we do?
Now we continue with your better plan, I suggest, and we shall meet them on the mortal planes, armies against armies, in the construction of this bigger, better tool to trap the gods in the Dwarven realms. That will draw the physical forces to us, I believe. And any help we can have in getting all the armies to assemble in one place, while simultaneously trying to release the Graith for a final secret push.
But with this time gone, the weapon...
Who gives a damn for the weapon and the gods? They have disappointed us at every turn.
That was our way of defeating Shidoth, was getting the weapon.
Shidoth is not the one... He might be the one orchestrating events behind closed doors, but if he's as incompetent as our gods...
Well, then what need we this rumour of this weapon that will trap the gods?
Because
if we care not about the gods?
it will bring Shidoth's armies to us, and that is what we are concerned with. We are concerned...
We are already fighting Shidoth's armies across this nation.
But we need a coordinated attack. We are disparate. We are split apart from each other. Look at this map. With our allies all in one place, we have a chance.
The other proconsul, an elderly woman, voices her opinion for the first time. I do hear what you are saying. Why should we bother with this? When my proconsul ally here suggested your plan, it did have merit, and it has brought about some advantage. We have managed to begin dialogue with our escapee. And the lack of arrival of your gods at this particular time will, I think, enable us to encourage our incumbent to return. Clearly, the gods are not interested in what's going on down here, and so there's no threat. That means that the Republic can recommit its forces to this war. We have tried it the gods' way. I suggest we now try it our way. Build this trap in the middle of the dwarvish territories. Take as long as it needs to. And if they still don't show up, then perhaps the gods have killed all of themselves and we are done with them forever. Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something indeed?
Yes. Sadly, I don't think that's the truth. Something is going on, but it is beyond our comprehension, which means we must refocus on what we can comprehend. Shidoth's armies grow stronger by the day.
They do.
I agree. Drawing them to a central point of a singular conflict may be just what is needed. And if this device that we are building is to actually function, or at least to have the semblance of functioning, that might be a big enough lure.
Perhaps merely the belief that it will work will be enough for the gods.
Perhaps that is all that they have anyway as belief.
Your counsel is much appreciated.
There is some other good news, says the other proconsul. I have been informed by our goblin allies that they are making significant advances on their merfolk deterrent. They have successfully managed to get a ship from the goblin city of Pispin all the way south to the Kabalia. It was attacked 3 times by the merfolk, and 3 times it was repulsed and defended with their new technology. This occurred yesterday. This bodes well for our alliance.
We will need their aid if we are to transport all these armies to us.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right. So, for the next year, you are involved in war.
Wow.
It rages on. Troops are slowly gathered, drawn from one battlefront to the other. The Brionnese, if you remember, there was uncertainty as to what they were going to do.
Yes.
They launched a massive invasion right on Sagetti's shores, doing exactly what everyone said they wouldn't do. They have split Sagetti in half with their invasion. I need you both to roll a d20 each for me. This will determine how badly the war is going or not going. So, for the Alliance of the East, what was your total?
What are the...
27 is our total.
27. For the Alliance of the Shadow.
Oh, we're not the shadow.
No.
I'm going to roll it so you can see it.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, you've got a 19 there.
Says the Shadow. That is the end of year 1.
Oh my god!
I'll keep trying to reach Gottfried, by the way.
He's just not answering.
What
Yeah.
a bastard.
Gemini has given up on Doran big time.
There have been complications as the second year rolls on. You repulsed the Shadow from the Sagetti, and it delayed plans. Because the dwarves refused to budge invading Athene Vashul, with the Sagetti border being threatened. And as a matter of fact, they were needed to shore up their own territories too. This has given the elves time, the Athenians, to reform, build leaderships. And there are now rumors of shadow elves being created.
Yikes.
Year 2 has a highlight. King Alexander celebrates his 18th birthday.
Oh.
It is a grim and sad affair, with everyone gathered around a war table, looking bedraggled and destroyed. But the dwarves do present him with a birthday cake.
Oh.
It's
He
not
doesn't-
much to look at.
He hasn't proposed to anyone in this time.
No, Alexander, having realized that the love of his life, Gemini, has friend-zoned him, refocused his efforts entirely on his training.
She
I've
does
heard
write
that
him a beautiful birthday song.
She does indeed.
She does, yeah.
Correct.
We've heard that before from Alexander, though.
Yes, sadly, this is very true.
Oh,
So, at
poor
the end of the
Alexander.
second year, I need you to roll your 2d20s, please.
Come on. Big money. Big money.
That's little money.
Little money. Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
That's middling money.
Oh, middling.
What's your total?
15.
Ooh.
Lolo. Fuck.
Fuck. Double fuck.
You.
19 plus 19.
38?
Yes. Oh no.
We're gonna die.
We're gonna die. We're gonna ruin the whole world. And we're gonna be shadows. We fucked up.
I can't
The
roll
device is being built,
Oh dear.
but it is no longer being built in the dwarvish territories. Because the dwarves don't control half of their territory any longer. Would you please move the 2 blue tokens from Athene Vasul? Actually, don't move them.
Just add more. Oh no.
Oh,
Where the yellow tokens currently are.
Replace the 2 yellow tokens in the dwarvish territory.
Oh. War is hard.
War is- I want them back. Thank you very much. Year 3. Year 3 ticks on. Please roll high.
18.
18 plus...
18 is good.
Oh.
7.
7 plus 18.
25.
25.
It It hasn't been good for the Alliance.
Avaradus is on top form
Yeah.
this year.
Where's my other die?
Oh, you don't have one. You can
I
only
don't
roll
have one. I
one.
can roll 2. Okay.
I rolled so well, it's been removed.
Oh,
Oh. Is that
That's
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 cocked,
7.
or is that's 7? Yeah.
That's
7.
Yeah. That's yeah. You've got a total of 9.
Can I have my yellow tokens back, please?
Oh my goodness, what a swing from minus 13 to positive 14. You can have your yellow tokens back and you gain 1.
Yay!
You may claim whatever territory you choose.
Well, we're having these
Well,
guys
well,
can
dwarven-
fuck
yeah,
back off again.
we've got a lot of love for the dwarven
and then
territory.
where?
Where do we take Kabalia?
Kabalia is a neutral territory.
it's still
no
really
one's
neutral.
been fighting over it.
Bottom of Brunei?
Well, the closest scary people are the elves
Yeah.
who want to do bad things to us.
Or
So-
the Brunei.
Or
The
Brunei.
Brionnese can strike
Where
into
are
the
the
Sajeti
Brionnese?
or into...
Yeah, let's land that beachhead.
You have a beachhead on Howden Lee.
Yes!
Taking it
For
back.
Alexander!
Oh, wow.
Yeah!
All right.
What an 18th present that was.
Well, 19th.
19th
now.
now.
What a 19th birthday present that will be.
And then the gods return.
Oh, I can hear Brendan laughing in the distance, so it's good timing.
Oh,
But for them, has it only been...
Wow.
Does their 7-day timer not count in mortal time?
Clearly not. It's that time for us to go.
Does that...
no. Well, yes, actually, it is. All right. Thanks for playing, everyone, and we'll catch up with you when we catch up with you.
Ah.